I turned my license in 1999.
I understand that.
4 years ago.
I
You
understand.
can't charge me for not having a license.
Different driving is a privilege. It's not a right.
That's right. I don't have to have that privilege. Traveling is a right,
And I
right?
suppose on your gear shift, there's a T instead of a D.
Ma'am?
Mr. Fuller appears pro se, having terminated the representation of the public defender's office and having represented to the court that he intends on proceeding without counsel. Is that correct, Mr. Fuller?
Yes, ma'am.
Because you're representing yourself, as I indicated before, you are held to the same standards as an attorney in terms of improper questioning will not be permitted, and you follow the rules of procedure and rules of law. Do you have any questions before we go?
No, ma'am.
People will call Officer Spanelli to the stand, Your Honor.
Hi, if you want to come forward, raise your right hand.
Talia Spanelli.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a police officer with the Colorado Springs Police Department. I believe it's
July
July 1st of 2022. I conducted a traffic stop.
What was that traffic stop for?
There was a driver's side tail light out.
And at any time did he present proof of insurance?
No,
At any time did he present proof of registration?
no,
At any time did he present proof of his license?
no.
How did you check if he had a license?
So I was able to find him in our law enforcement databases using the information that he did provide to me. I obtained a digital photograph of Mr. Fuller who matched.
Does Exhibit 2 purport to be a certified vehicle record from the Colorado DMV?
There is a seal on it, and I certify that the attached are true and correct copies as maintained by the Colorado Division of Motor Vehicles.
Do those records relate to the defendant, Daryl Fuller?
There is a name, yes, and the date of birth that I located for him, yes.
Okay, thank you. Your Honor, the people would move to admit self-authenticating document the DMV records of defendant David Fuller.
Any objection?
Yes, I got an objection. You got this child support in here. They had to pay me back all this money. Why ain't that in here?
That it's a record, I'm assuming, when a driver's license is suspended for child support, regardless of
There was no driver's.
whether or not but your driving privileges are suspended for failure to pay child support. So admitted.
Your Honor, let the record reflect that the defendant has been served proof of service that the license has been revoked.
And that's part of that DMV packet in Exhibit 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
That objection, right? There's no license.
I understand that you're admitting that you don't have a driver's license.
I turned my license in 1999.
I understand that.
4 years ago.
I
You can't
understand.
charge me for not having a license.
Yes, you can.
No, we can't.
Mr. Fuller,
got
you and I are
you.
going to talk about it, and you'll have your opportunity, okay?
See, he's trying to bury me in false.
Well, Mr. Fuller,
That's false.
I understand your objection. It is overruled.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Fuller, do you have any questions for Officer Spanelli?
Yes, I do. What law requires an individual to get a license?
Your Honor, objection.
That's constitutional.
No,
She is not an expert in the law, so.
Well, she wrote me a ticket for it.
No, Mr. Fuller.
Well, I'm going to tell you this like this here.
But no.
There is no law that
Mr. Fuller,
requires me.
Mr. Fuller, we're going to follow procedure.
Okay,
And so you've
procedure.
asked a witness a question
What
that
law requires her to-
she cited
me to get a
you.
line?
She cited you on your ticket under the Colorado Revised Statutes 42.4, 215, 42.101, subsection 1,
Okay.
42.3, etc. Wait a minute. And those are the laws that she cited
Okay.
you for.
But the law I'm
Violating.
violating is my constitutional right.
Well, wait, and that's that's an argument, and it's not properly before this witness. I'll give you an opportunity to make argument when it's your case in chief, okay?
Okay.
Your question.
Now,
to this
see, the reason why I asked that question, Your Honor, I don't carry a license. I don't use a license.
I understand.
But she wrote me up for a license I didn't have. How can she write me for something I
Ms.
don't
Fuller,
use?
because I just explained to you.
That's not a good explanation, Your Honor.
I understand that, but the laws in the Colorado Revised Statutes.
But it does not supersede the Constitution in my right.
Wait a minute. You and I, I'm going to allow you to make that argument on the record, and at the end of the trial, I'm going to rule.
All right.
But she cited you according to what is contained
Okay.
in the Colorado Revised Statutes. And so that's a question properly before her, but the legal or constitutional argument is not properly made in front of this witness. So do you have any other?
So she can't answer why she wrote me a ticket without a license.
Well, she could answer that.
It's not required under any
Wait a
law.
minute. No.
That's what I'm like.
We're not
How is it
arguing. We're
required?
not arguing. We're not arguing.
That's not a state law?
She can answer the question to what she cited you for.
Okay.
She can.
Please answer that question.
Okay. So Officer Spanelli, what did you cite Mr. Fuller for?
On that day, sir, I did cite you for not having your lamps as required, drove a vehicle without a valid driver's license, failed to display registration and compulsory insurance, and those are the citations.
When I went to go pick up my car, there was no lamp out. So
Objection. That's not a question.
I'm just telling you the facts.
You know what? You will have an opportunity to testify, but you're asking her why she pulled you over. And so her answer was you had a tail lamp out.
But she didn't say that at first. She said my tag didn't come back to nothing. She recognized, right?
We did say that during
Yes,
the course of our conversation.
But you never even said that a light was out to me. You never even told me that. I didn't find that out till you wrote it on the ticket. So why would you make up a statement that you stopped me for a lamp being out and the lamp was not out?
Objection, Your Honor, badgering the witness.
Sorry.
Sustained.
I have no further questions.
Okay.
Your Honor, the people call Officer Zachary Forrester to the stand. And did you respond to a call for service on 11/29/2022?
Yes, I responded to a traffic stop initiated by CSPD Sergeant Al Rogers.
And what did you see when you arrived on scene?
Officer Rogers had stopped a vehicle, an SUV with no plate attached, and he had informed me he had contacted the driver.
Were you wearing your body-worn camera that day?
Yes.
Was it turned on?
Yes.
Is this the CD I showed you in the hallway?
Yes.
Are these your initials?
Yes.
Officer Forrester, at any time did the defendant furnish proof of registration,
No.
proof of a license?
No.
Did he have plates attached to the rear of his vehicle?
To my knowledge, no.
See, he took them off. See, he wasn't there.
And on the top of the page there, can you read the three words that are bold?
Proof of service?
Yes. And towards the bottom of the page, there should be a signature box. Can you tell the court how many of those proof of services have signatures on them?
3 of them have signatures. The rest say refused to sign.
Thank you, Officer Fuller. The people would move to admit Exhibit 2.
Anytime there's police involvement, you'll always find more than one officer.
That's
And
right.
each
More than
officer
one
that is
officer.
on scene
He did not
is
stop.
involved in the stop.
He did not stop.
Objection overruled. I understand that. He did not pull you over first. Objection overruled, so admitted.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Mr. Fuller, questions for Officer Forrester?
What state statute requires a person to have a driver's license?
I do not know the statute off the top of my head, but I do know it is a required statute.
Objection, Your Honor, that calls for the witness to be an expert in the law.
Well, he does cite. How do they know what to cite?
We use reference guides for the exact statutes when it comes to driving under revoked or driving with or without a license.
Is it illegal to drive without a license?
Yes.
Since when? What law, what statute requires me to get your license to travel upon the public road?
It would be Colorado Revised Statute 42-2-2061A. You're required to drive with a license.
I'm not required to drive. Driving. I travel. I told you that. I told him that.
Objection, badgering the witness.
Sustained. This
It is against the law to travel. So I got to waive my right to get there? No.
So, Mr. Fuller, you have a legal argument that you are dying to make to the court that is a U.S. Constitution versus state law argument. It is not. This officer did answer your question.
What was the reason the officer stopped me?
This is not there's been no.
He can testify against me, Your Honor. He should know what I was stopped for. That's fair.
Mr. Fuller, today is a trial.
See, that's what I don't understand, Your Honor. How can you replicate something that don't exist?
I understand you don't understand
You
that.
can't just sit here and start writing
Any
me
other
tickets
questions for this
or
witness?
licenses that I don't use.
Any other questions for this witness?
No, ma'am. No more further questions.
Any
No, Your Honor.
any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right.
People rest.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Fuller.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your opportunity to testify on your own behalf. if you take the stand, we'll get your testimony. If you want to make argument as opposed to testify, then you can rest your case and I'll allow you to make an argument.
Rest my case means I'm found guilty.
No, to rest your case means that you're leaving it up to the court to determine whether or not they met their burden of proof. But if you want to testify, then, okay, so if you're not going to testify, do you have any witnesses?
No, I don't.
Okay, so if you're not going, wait a minute, if you're not going to testify and you have no witnesses, then you are resting your case. However, I'll allow you to make argument. How it goes is the people will start and then you can make argument and then they'll have a brief opportunity to respond to them. So you each have 10 minutes total to argue to the court, and then I'm going to rule. And when I rule, it's not a back and forth. It's not an argument. It is a final ruling. You can always appeal my ruling. It is not a back and forth. Closing argument.
Your Honor, I believe the people have met all of the elements of all of the charges provided.
Mr. Fuller, sir, this is your opportunity.
Driving is making the public road your place of business for profit or gain. I never did that. Now it says right here, private automobiles are not required by any law, code, or statute to be recorded. So I don't know what he's.
Where are you getting that?
Chicago v. Chicago Motor Coach. Well, see, they all refer to driving. Driving is making the public road your place of business for profit or gain. You're using the public road for profit. Traveling, it's not required under any law. You don't have to have a license, registration, or anything. Yeah, Chicago v. Chicago Motor Coach, 169 NE 221. The use of the highway for purposes of travel and transportation is not a mere privilege, but a common fundamental right, of which the public and individuals cannot rightfully be deprived of. They sitting there putting me in a CDL. I don't have a CDL anymore. Okay, Thompson v. Smith. The right of the citizen to travel upon the public highway and transport his property thereon, either by carriage or by automobile, is not a mere privilege which the city may prohibit or permit at will, but a common law right which he has under the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. See, I quit using the license in 1999. I never had this problem before until I come out here, and these prosecutors don't seem to understand the difference between travel and driving. There's two different things. So he want everybody to be drivers on the public road. So if you want me to get a driver's license, we got to set a contract and I got to get paid. That's what a driving license is for. That's why you got truck drivers, bus drivers. These guys that drive the train, they get paid to be drivers. If you're going to tell me I got to go and get a driver's license because you say so or the state says so, you got to pay me for that. That's a contract. And the only way you can tell me I can't do it is you got to lawfully amend the Constitution.
Is that it?
And then you got Kit versus Delis. Travel is a part of liberty, which a citizen cannot be deprived without due process under the Fifth Amendment. Then you got Saturan versus Delis. The right to travel is a well-established common right that does not owe its existence to the federal government. It is recognized by the courts as natural rights. And then, the states can't diminish my rights. They say, oh, you driving. I have not driven a car lawfully since 1999. I've traveled in a car. So you don't agree with that, Yana? You're shaking your head.
I don't agree, but go ahead. I want you to.
But that's federal, that's state, that's my right. See, to look, for free people have the common law and constitutional right to travel upon the roads and highways that are provided by the governments for that purpose. Licensing of drivers cannot be required of free people because taking on the restrictions of a license requires the surrender of an inalienable right. So I'm not giving up my rights. But you telling me I got to go get a license, so you forcing me to give up that right. My rights cannot be diminished by the state. It can't be diminished. That's called fraud because you can't revocate anything. You can't tell me, they can't tell me I just can't use the public road. Nobody, you don't own the public road. Travel is not a privilege requiring license, vehicle registrations, forced insurances. That's Chicago v. Chicago Motor Coach.
What's the year on that?
1929.
1929. No, it's been revived.
It's been overruled.
It has?
It has been overruled.
They still using. Yep. We still use it.
Right. Well, it has been overruled, but go ahead.
So you telling me we got to go and waive our rights to get your license?
I'll tell you in a minute.
So that's the waiving. That's
full argument. You have 3 minutes left.
Miranda versus Arizona. Where rights secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which arbitrates them. So you overruled that one? That's been overruled? No, it ain't. You use it now. Miller v. U.S., the claim and exercise of constitutional rights cannot be converted into a crime. So you can't tell me I got to go get your license and charge me, oh, you driving without this? I don't drive. I travel everywhere I go. So you telling me I can't travel?
I don't disagree that you can travel from state to state. Yep, that is a constitution.
And it doesn't require anything.
Right, you don't need permission.
But license is permission. What is it then, ma'am?
Driving is different. Driving is a privilege. It's not a right.
That's right. I don't have to have that privilege. Traveling is a right,
And I
right?
suppose on your gear shift, there's a T instead of a D.
Ma'am?
Right.
I didn't hear you.
I said, I suppose on your gear shift, there's a T instead of a D.
Well, you got the right to travel. Now, no license and registration is required. Right? So you got to live. That's a right. You can't take my right.
And you are out of time. You have 7 reserved, Mr. Chigo.
So first, Your Honor, the 10th Circuit has consistently held that the fundamental right to travel applies only to interstate movement and not in intra-state travel. So within a state may be regulated under McGraw versus City of Oklahoma. Moreover, Colorado courts have repeatedly confirmed that driving is not a fundamental right. In Crocker versus Colorado Department of Revenue, the Colorado Supreme Court held that, quote, the right to drive an automobile on the state highways does not rise to the status of a fundamental right. Similarly, in Mayo versus National Farmers Union Property and Casualty Company, the court stated that household insurance exclusions did not infringe on travel rights because they, quote, at most inhabited, end quote, decisions to travel together by automobile, but imposed no constraint on separate travel by automobile or joint or separate travel by other means. Federal courts have agreed with the District Court of Colorado in Meisman versus Fremont County, in which noting that requiring driver's licenses is a valid exercise of the state's police power, and that conditions precedent to granting a driver's license, car registration, or license plates do not infringe on constitutional rights. They were citing Supreme Court precedent Bell v. Burson.
Thank you.
Survey said.
So we're going to go back to the 10th Amendment. Provides for certain enumerated rights as belonging to the federal government. Anything that's not enumerated or implied is reserved for the state governments. States have the authority under the 10th Amendment to regulate the operations of motor vehicles on highways, public roads within that state. No, I'm not. This is my ruling. You've been asking where it all comes from. I'm telling you where this all comes from. And you are right. Traveling is a right, but driving, it's a privilege. So, Mr. Fuller, the laws of the state of Colorado, the court is finding, were violated. They are laws that are constitutional, and therefore, the court is finding, conviction enters. You repeatedly indicated to the officer that you showed a made-up license, but you did not have a Colorado state or any other state license plate, and that you drove your motor vehicle after.
Not registered. It can't be a motor vehicle, y'all.
Mr. Fuller, I appreciate your arguments, but they are flawed. That you continued to operate a motor vehicle after revocation of your license by the Department of Motor Vehicles was in effect. You had notice.
But I never had a license. Colorado can't revocate a license that don't exist.
Mr. Fuller,
in 34 years.
your argument is flawed in that because you continued to drive and because you continued to pick up points, even though you didn't have a valid license is not something that it's held and you put little checks on it. Even though you may have turned your license in, you had enough points that your driving privileges
That's what I want to
were,
ask you.
your driving privileges were
obtain points when I have nothing to
revoked
obtain points.
by the state of Colorado. According
did
to
you
your
revoke?
DMV packet here, there is enough in here to prove to this court that your license was in revocation status
you revoked
and that
those?
you had notice of the revocation and either signed or refused to sign the notices and proofs of service. You failed to have properly affixed license plates. You failed to have a valid registration and prove valid registration, and that you were driving after revocation of your driving privileges by the state of Colorado. You had a tail lamp that was not properly working, and you failed to provide a valid policy of insurance. You said you had it, but the law is that you provide proof.
She said it was no good. It was on the phone.
You said to her, I'm not going to show you.
Showed her when I was
You
standing
said
over-
to her, I don't have to show you.
I don't have
You
to show
said-
you, but I showed it
You
to
said,
her.
I
She said,
don't
"You
need a license. That's a fucking right, lady. You got to learn the law.
Yeah.
And I know you're not debating that. So
But I got a question for you. When is the revocation going to be lifted?
you have to go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and ask them what the status of your license is and what it would take for you to get a license. I can tell you now, you just amassed a whole host of points. So I would venture to guess you
But
just
this is-
put
this is
yourself
the
in a
problem,
situation.
I haven't had a license since I come from Iraq.
I understand that, but you must have a valid driver's license. If you are a resident of the state of Colorado, you must have a
I
valid
got
Colorado
engaged in
driver's license.
transportation and commerce in the state of Colorado.
You are citing a definition that is not recognized by this court or any court
But it's still
of
driving,
law.
right? Yeah.
If you're arguing that it is a commerce clause argument, however,
But regardless, Your Honor, it's still a contract, right?
it is not a contract.
So I don't have to go to the.
For financial gain. You need a driver's license
Mm-hmm.
in the state of Colorado, whether you're visiting Aunt May or going to the store or going to court
It's
or
free,
going to
right?
work.
It's free, right?
It is not, and it does not have
If I
to
got
be
to sign
free.
my name to it, you know that's a contract.
The state of Colorado has the authority, as I've repeatedly cited, to enact laws that require a driver's license in the state of Colorado. And so for that reason, Mr. Fuller, I appreciate your arguments. It is not an argument that will get you anywhere but
I see that.
into trouble.
I've never had a license since I was, 19 years old?
I can tell you, I would,
And
I don't know that that's
Is it a money grab for the state
true.
or what? Because I've never had this problem
well,
before.
and look at your driving record. Your earliest conviction in May of 2016, driving when your license was under restraint, suspended, and that was here in Colorado.
That's right. Everything has been here in Colorado.
Well, you've got a conviction in North Carolina for driving with a revoked license. You've
don't know
got
what-
a failure to appear in North Carolina. You've got to fail to answer a citation in New Mexico. Then you've got a failure to appear in North Carolina, failure to appear in California, defective brakes, speeding, expired or no non-commercial driver's license in
And
Illinois.
what year was that?
In 1999,
Yeah. That's the last
Yeah.
year I had my license.
right? And then in North
They took 'em away.
Carolina, back in 1984, you driving wrong way, expired license in 1991 from North Carolina.
I've been stopped in a lot of states a lot of times and never had a problem.
Well, maybe
Okay.
Colorado's just not the place for you.
Colorado. That's right. You might be right, ma'am. You might be right.
I'm going to set a sentencing date when you come back to court because you are going to be on some type of probation and required to get a license. So I'm going to give you some time.
You can require me to get a
Yeah,
license?
I can make it as a condition of probation, or I can sentence.
So now what if I don't qualify for the condition of the probation?
I
to
know.
get a
Well, that's why I'm going to give you some time to figure that out. And we're going to come back here, June 9 at 9:30. Mr. Fuller, 22T6283 and 22T10889. So, Mr. Fuller, we're celebrities. Did you know that?
How's that, Yana?
Somebody videotaped your hearing and posted it on YouTube. Some organization, I don't know who they are, but we're famous. Maybe that makes us influencers.
I didn't know nothing about that.
Yeah, somebody brought it to my attention. Another judge had been watching, so I don't know.
How would they do that, Yana?
So when we have to live stream, our legislature requires that we live stream all of our proceedings, and then they record these and they post them on their YouTube pages, apparently. In any event, were you able to get to the DMV? What have you done since our last?
I didn't know I had to go up.
Yeah, well, I told you that it would benefit you greatly to figure out what it would take for you to get your license.
Well, I don't have anything pending on, so it shouldn't be no problem. But I didn't know I had to go up there.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
yeah, because all of these carry the possibility of jail. I'd rather not throw you in jail unless you want to just go to jail and be done with it. I'd rather have you get your license and
See,
insurance.
that's not an easy thing out here. You have to wait.
You just told me it was easy.
No, but I'm saying the appointment. It's easy to go to the DMV.
That's what we talked about it. And I know we talked about it because it's videotaped, so we could just sit down one day with
But
some popcorn and watch
I guess I wasn't paying attention to that.
I know you weren't paying attention. You were kind of upset. Okay, I'm going to set you out I'm going to give you a couple weeks. I want you to have an appointment. You don't need to have been seen, but you were to have an appointment. It's the only way you're going to stay out of jail is to get this license.
It took 2 months to get the ID card. Okay, well, let's see what happens.
All right. Well, if it's too much of a problem, we'll just about it then. All right. I want you to come in on July 1st at 11:30.